Danny Rolling, known as the Gainesville Ripper, was a man who looked completely ordinary, someone you might pass on the street without even noticing. Yet behind that calm appearance was a darkness that would turn an entire city into a place of fear. In 1990, Gainesville, Florida, a peaceful college town filled with young students chasing their dreams, suddenly became the center of one of the most terrifying crime stories in American history. It all began when a series of brutal murders shocked the community, targeting young college students in their own apartments, places where they should have felt the safest. These crimes were not just violent, but deeply disturbing, and the fear spread quickly across the city. Students stopped going out alone, doors were locked at all times, and many people even left Gainesville because they no longer felt safe. The idea that a killer was moving freely through the city without being caught created a sense of panic that was impossible to ignore. Police were under intense pressure, increasing patrols and warning residents, but the biggest problem was that they had no clear suspect. There were no obvious signs, no clear pattern that could easily lead to the killer, and that made the situation even more dangerous. People began to realize that the threat was not something distant, it was close, possibly living among them, hiding in plain sight. Danny Rolling himself had a troubled past, filled with personal struggles and issues that slowly shaped the person he became. However, nothing about his appearance would immediately make someone think he was capable of such horrific acts. That is what made this case so chilling, the contrast between how normal he looked and what he was actually doing. As the investigation continued, fear in Gainesville only grew stronger. Parents worried about their children, students lived in constant anxiety, and the entire city seemed to be waiting for answers. Eventually, a break in the case came, but not in the way people expected. Danny Rolling was arrested for a different reason, and during the investigation, evidence began to connect him to the Gainesville murders. Slowly, piece by piece, the truth started to come out. Investigators realized that the man they had in custody was not just an ordinary suspect, but the person responsible for the terror that had gripped the city. When the full story was revealed, it shocked the entire nation. The idea that one individual could create such widespread fear in such a short period of time was hard for many people to understand. His actions left a deep impact on the community, and even after his arrest, the memory of those events continued to affect the people of Gainesville. The case also raised important questions about safety, trust, and how someone can hide such a dark side behind a normal appearance. What makes this story even more disturbing is the realization that danger does not always look the way we expect it to. We often imagine threats as something obvious, something we can easily recognize. But cases like this prove that reality is very different. Danny Rolling did not stand out in a crowd. He did not behave in a way that immediately raised suspicion, and that is exactly why he was able to continue for as long as he did. His story is not just about crime, but about fear, psychology, and the hidden side of human nature. It reminds us that sometimes the most dangerous individuals are the ones we never suspect, the ones who appear completely normal on the surface. In the end, Danny Rolling was convicted, and justice was served. But the fear he created did not disappear overnight. The impact of his actions stayed with the community, becoming a part of its history. This case continues to be remembered as one of the most disturbing crime stories in the United States, not just because of what happened, but because of how it happened. Quietly, unexpectedly, and without warning. It leaves us with one chilling thought. If someone like him could hide in plain sight, how many others might be doing the same?